Hi folks and welcome back. In this episode I'm going to give you a little walk round on my yellow GT4. Stay tuned. Right, first things first, before we get into any details, I need to give it a wash. Let's just take a minute to appreciate that beautiful pearlescent paint, especially in Scotland where we don't get much sunshine. Right, so a little bit of backstory. I've been looking for one of these cars for probably, well, about a year now, but I've had this one for 6 months. In the meantime, I knew that I wanted the car and I knew what I wanted it to look like, so before I'd even bought the car, I'd got the Nismo body kit for it, the Esprit wing, the Volk 19-inch Volk T37 wheels, and then I picked up some Nismo S-Tune suspension. The only thing I didn't get before I got the car was the exhaust. Even the steering wheel, I had the steering wheel before I bought the car. That's how desperate and how adamant I knew I wanted to get one. So yeah, when I bought it, it was stock body kit. It came with the GT4 alloys. It didn't have the Nismo body kit that you could have ordered from the dealership when you bought the car new. But I like the look of it, so that's why I managed to get myself a Nismo body kit for it. So yeah, I'll just take you a little walk around and show you what it's like. Okay, so for you that you don't know, this is the Nissan 350Z GT4. It came out in 2005 and it was released in conjunction with Sony and the PlayStation game Gran Turismo 4. So these were the first cars that came with the rev-up engines, which had just under 300 horsepower, which back in 2005 was a pretty respectable number. Now maybe not so much, but it can still hold its own on the road. I've done a few upgrades, as I mentioned there, that I'd bought before I even had the car, which I'd bought the facelift headlights, the facelift rear lights, the TE37 19-inch, can't remember quite, I think it's 9.5 in the front, 10.5 in the back, don't quote me on that, can't remember exactly right now. I got the Nismo decals, the Nismo body kit, the Esprit wing, which I love. I'm not a fan of the original Nismo wing, the V1 wing, and this is one of the wings that I've had my eye on for ages, and it just suits the car. The amount of compliments you get for it is unbelievable. Also underneath, it's got the Nismo S-Tune exhaust, which is, I've had one many years ago, I had one, and it's just a little bit loud on stock, not much. It's a nice exhaust once you decat the car. This car is running standard cats on it still, so no problems with MOTs. And what else? Yes, it's got a Nismo exhaust and a I don't know why, it's a new Y pipe that's on it. I didn't fit it, so I'm not sure which it was. Stainless steel one anyway. Yeah, so these cars, 176 of them are made in conjunction with Sony. 100 of them were the Kuro Black cars, and 76 came in ultra yellow. So these were the only cars you could get in the UK in yellow. So as I say, there's 76 of them. There's less now when you kind of check the registry, there's less of them now, and they don't come up for sale very often. So I was being a pest on Facebook, and I kind of tried to find out who had them. Contacted a few members, was offered a few different cars, but I was looking with one with kind of decent and low mileage. There was one come up with lower mileage, but it was dearer, so I had to realistically fit into a budget. So yeah, the other car was probably the best one in the country, owned by a guy that I now talk to quite regularly. So yeah, I've made a few changes, just I like to modify cars. I've basically got full new boot lid, so because the wing is so big and I knew there was going to be extra holes involved, I didn't want to kind of make holes in the original boot lids. Of that's in storage, the original body kit's in storage, the original wheels, the original suspension, lights, basically everything I've took off this car is in storage, so it can go back on if I decide to sell it. Because yeah, I've spent too much money kind of modifying it just to sell it with everything intact. I mean, unless somebody makes me a crazy offer, fair enough, but I may sell it next year, put it back to stock and sell it. But for the time being, I absolutely love it. Right, let's get a look inside. So from your standard car, oh yeah, I bought the Nismo mats as well. Yeah, and that's steering wheel is from Jack Royal. This is the third one I've had from him. I usually get the red stripe. My car's been red before, so kind of bolstered up side walls there, all new leather, yellow stitching, suits the car. So yeah, and I've got the kind of OEM Nismo mats here. But yeah, apart from that, everything else is pretty much standard in the car. The rev ups eventually, after these ones were made, the rev up engine came out and they got the facelift lights anyway, and they got an upgraded interior, the same as, if not similar to, HR cars now. But yeah, the only thing that makes it mega special, I suppose, is the little GT4 badge. This is number 105 of 176. The colours didn't coordinate with the numbers, if that makes sense. It didn't go 1 to 100 in black and then 101 to 76 and yellow. It's just all staggered about. So yeah, I made this little carbon thing here, just messing about with the little CNC machine. I was going to kind of sit it on top of there, but yeah, probably won't bother. Yeah, everything's in good condition. This car's done, let me just check if the battery will let me. There we go, 50,890 miles. So yeah, runs like a dream. There's a couple other things that I've purchased that didn't come with the car, managed to get off eBay. So originally the car came with a Sony Playstation in the boot, with a copy of Gran Turismo 4. Came with a little yellow car inside, and this is just some of the bumps you would have got with the car when you bought it new, pictures and such like in there, specs and stuff. So yeah, I've kind of picked these bits and bobs up on eBay just to put in my little collection. I like to collect these things. This was a Gran Turismo 4, this never came with a car or anything, but this was a media pack. I think the media gets sent out, so it came with some bum for a copy of the game, a random thing you could put your passport in, calendar. Under here is mainly the reason I wanted it, is a beautiful book, hardback book. If I can get it out one-handed. Oh, making a mess of this. There we go. Yeah, so hardback book, and it just comes with lots of kind of illustrations about the game, and I mean, I'm never going to read all this, let's be honest, but I just like to have things like this. Yeah, so I'll keep them. I just thought it was interesting to put into this video since it kind of relates to the car. But as I said, the engine is the first car that came with the rev up engine, which had 20 horsepower more than the original DE at the time. Let's see, the battery was dead earlier, so there we go, good stuff. So the exhaust, stock exhaust, I'm not going to rev it because it's utterly stone cold. But yeah, I'll pop the engine bay open, but I'll just show you know what it looks like anyway. I was really happy about this car when we put the body kit on it. Obviously taking the side skirts and everything off. And then the sills and everything are perfect, absolutely brand new, which I've had lots of these cars and they do suffer from rust on the kind of rear arches and the door sills. But yeah, I mean, bog standard in here, absolutely bog standard, and runs well. So I think that's maybe about it. What I'll do is I'll let it heat up and then I'll give the engine a couple of blips and you can hear it. So there we have it, guys. A couple other things I maybe never spoke about was the Nismo suspension. I was actually a bit gutted when I put it on. It never really lowered the car very much, but bear in mind I put the wheels on at the same time, so I think in theory it's supposed to bring the car down by about 10 mil. So I maybe lost that in the tyre sizes, but the car handles so well on them, it stiffens up the car tremendously. So I was quite happy with that, even though I was a bit gutted that it didn't lower it down that a little bit more. But to be honest, it kind of saves the front bumper getting hit by speed bumps and stuff, so yeah, quite happy about it in the end up. So I think that's the only thing we never really went into like depth with. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, comments, that, feel free to leave them below, and if I know the answer I'll certainly get back to you. Until next time, guys, thank you.